Sure.
Yep, I'll take note.
Alright, did you hear that? I forget her name.
Was it Becca?
Alright, they're ready, going.
Yeah, like that door.
Is the girl there recording? Jay?
She's all set.
Yeah, okay, she's good. Yep, she's good. Yep. So we'll call the meeting to order and we'll get going. So, what's the first thing on the agenda? We do the minutes. We have the minutes from the last week.
The minutes, but we don't have them, so we should go table them.
Alright, so, yeah, we don't have the meetings, with us, but, so we'll have to just vote to table those to the next meeting, so.
I second the motion.
Okay, and, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. And then,
You wanna say who's there, no roll call.
oh, okay, so we can do a roll call, so we have, our chair, Sandra Berry, is, coming in live via FaceTime. You wanna say
Yes.
here, yes, okay, I'm
Here.
Jason Gerton, I'm here,
Eric and Boris here.
Brian Matheson here.
alright, so, next, we can jump right into the agenda?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Jump right into open meeting, which would be the Lions Club.
Okay, so we're gonna pull up the pavilion project, so, I'm gonna, switch over to, for this portion of the meeting, I'm gonna switch over to, a Lions member who's here to talk about a project that we have, that we wanted to bring to the town, so, we've been discussing a little bit in the Lions Club, about how we can do a service project, in town. Came up with the idea of putting a pavilion up at the rec field. So we have some very skilled labor, in our Lions Club. Jason here is a good, he's into timber framing. So we brought this, him and I brought this, idea to the club and, kicked around how it would, sizes and what it would look like and whatnot, just to see if they would approve it, and they did. They liked the idea. So what would be a timber frame, building that would be approximately 24 by 36 feet long, with a metal roof and a concrete pad floor. It would be located, the proposed location is over behind the, if you're looking at the bandstand, I have it on the piece of paper and I sent it to you too, Sandra.
Yes, I got it.
If you look, it's behind the bandstand to the right, and there's like some area over there that's not utilized for baseball or soccer, it's kind of out of the way.
Dugout, yeah.
Yeah, and where it kind of lines up well is with the chicken barbecue that we do every field day. There's a tent that we set up over there where everybody sits to eat, so that's where we propose that it would be. We went round, we looked at, I've looked at different spots, we've thought about different spots up there, and everything gets used pretty heavily. Between baseball and soccer, we wouldn't want to impede on those spaces. We think it's a good enough location that's visible from the road, that people could use it and still see everything, so, so that's kind of where we had settled on it, so.
Nice.
I approached the town building inspector to find out what we would need in order to move forward. He wants us to have a engineered plan and a general contractor to help us through the thing. Other than that, this would be totally built by Lions and totally funded by the Lions. So we would do any necessary fundraising that was needed to get any funds that we don't have to put towards it. So, I think that's the basics of it. I figure there's probably a lot of questions people are gonna have, and we'll do our best to answer them, but, that was kind of the basics.
Yeah, sounds like a good project to me.
I guess, and my purpose of bringing it up is I also need permission from the parks. So we do, at the Lions, I shouldn't say I, we need permission to, take the space and see what your thoughts were on the whole thing. And then we'll go to the Board of Selectmen, once after
With the
this next
proposal,
thing.
yeah. What were you thinking for the orientation Were you thinking the long way facing, or kind of the long way facing?
Yeah, the way that the land is over there, it would have to be the long way. The opening would be, you know, as you look up at the bandstand, the opening of it would be, you know, the length, would go that way.
Kind of parallel to the.
Yeah, kind of
path,
parallel to that,
yeah.
that dugout that's there, yeah.
Right
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, so there is the grade comes down, there's that tree that's on the grade, we're undecided whether that's gonna have to come down or not. I'd like to save it if I could, because it's a nice tree, but, if it has to come down, it will be the one sacrifice that's made.
Is there a time frame that they're looking to do it in?
Jason and I would like to do it this spring. We would really like to get, you know, we're ready to run with it. You know, try to get some funding and get some things going. But you know, as I'm finding out, things take a little bit longer than you want. You can't just throw it up and be done with it. The engineering plan's gonna take some time. We think we've identified somebody that can do it. We've got to have some conversation with them. It's gonna be probably a little bit of back and forth. That's gonna take I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 weeks. We're thinking. And then, you know, it's all gonna be about fundraising and then getting the timbers and working them and getting that. But my idea was, our thought when we were originally talking about it was, you know, maybe before summer kicks off and everybody's gone doing their things, we wanted to have it up. Cause our schedule gets busy after that too. Everybody's busy in the summer, and then we have events and things, and
How much funding do you have right now versus what you need?
I'm not exactly sure, but I think if we're gonna, we would probably try to raise as much as we could to offset the cost. But yeah, I think we're definitely gonna have to raise some funds, for sure. But you know, we're gonna solicit the businesses in town, and we've got some more events coming up too, meat raffle and whatnot.
Nice.
Although we had to cancel this week's meat raffle because snowstorm was coming in and we had to order the meat, we had to make a decision, so.
Oh, right.
So, but, yeah, anyways,
Yeah, I think it sounds like a win for the town.
yeah, so,
I have a couple questions.
sure,
Hold on, I lost my train of thought. So does anyone from your line of who's there wanna say anything or, does anything what you have to say, Jason?
I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit, can you repeat that?
I said, does anyone from your guests from the Lions Club who has attended want to add to what you had to say?
I don't think so. Just in the beginning stages, so.
Yeah, so we're very early on, we're very, you can probably see it, we don't have the plans, we're just trying to find our way through it, so, they both came to support and hear and find out what, you know, if what we gotta do, if anything, to, from Parks, and then I'm sure you guys will be there Monday when we go to present it to the board.
What kind of impact will it have on things going on while it's being built?
It's a good question. I would think if it falls into the time frame that we want, you know, baseball will be happening during that time. Spring soccer might be happening, but I think that's generally on the big field, which wouldn't necessarily be there. But a lot of the stuff that we got to do, I mean, Jason can speak to it. Prepping and how much work is actually going to be done.
Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
biggest impact that I can see is the foundation getting put in. Cause that's where you have the most equipment, really.
Right.
The frame itself is a couple days with a bunch of people together doing kind of a barn raising style, putting it together. And then a couple days to do the roof, so there's not much on the frame part, but the only thing I can see is the foundation, cause they gotta dig, put stone in, have equipment in there.
And
But with the
concrete,
spot
yeah.
that it's in, with that road behind it, you can, I think, minimize the amount of impact it does to the two fields.
Yeah, that's a good
So
point.
most of the stuff can come right down from that road down in
Mhm.
and not have to affect those two
Nah,
fields,
from
'cause we don't wanna touch them.
When you say
anyways.
road, are you talking about the walking
Yeah,
path?
the back walk
Yeah.
path.
Yeah.
Can that walking path, I mean, it's already not in great shape, take that kind of equipment going across it?
So when I say equipment, I mean maybe like a small dump truck, like
Right.
350,
Yeah.
but yes, that's
I mean,
that
that's
would be
still
a
a lot
concern.
of weight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, but that's the only thing I can think of it.
It's not really going to be anything more than what we've done at Field Day in the past with trucks, and we do a tractor ride up there with, you know, the thing. Bringing the trucks in with the timbers on them might be, you know, kind of the heavier part. Everything else I think would come in from the front. You know, any equipment to dig out or anything like that would probably come in from the front gates, I would think. It's a wider path, and that one definitely can withstand
That can.
the weight, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I think we would, anything that we damaged while we're up there, we would, you know, ground-wise, we would look to repair it before we clear it out then. So.
So I did email, the head of baseball and Little League and the head of, soccer, and told them about your plan. They don't see any problem with it, but they would like to have it staked out before it's built, just to make sure there's not a problem with it. Because no one knew exactly where it was gonna be built.
Right. Okay, yep, I've been meaning to do that, it just kinda slipped my mind, but we can get up there and stake it out, where we think it'll land.
The other issue, it's not that I think there's any issue, I think this is a wonderful project. Jesse was mentioning that it's really super wet over there for a long time in the spring, so I don't know if that's gonna become a problem. Also, I don't know how far the irrigation runs, because there is irrigation that goes beyond that major baseball field. So I'm just trying to let you know, you might wanna look into that and see if there's any pipes running underneath the ground over there, that's all.
Yeah, I knew, that it gets wet over there, we had talked about it, we have, we had probably about 10 of us that have formed a committee within the Lions to talk about this, and that was one of the topics of conversation. One of them is a member of the, DPW, and, we talked about, you know, what we could do to alleviate that, and, you know, maybe we have to put a dry well in or something like that, like we did with the playground. But, you know, we'll it'd definitely be a consideration, cause we don't want it, you know, soggy over there, you know, year round, so.
Well, I think if you're digging out some of the native material and putting stone in, compacting it, that would help if anything.
Yeah, I would think the part of the engineering plan, I think is and actually one of the members on our committee is a civil engineer. I think one of the conversations or one of the things that we take into effect during that plan is it has to be grade and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I was thinking is, so once the Lions builds this, they're going to donate it to the town, which is gonna fall under, the parks at that point.
Yep.
So use of it and what have you is gonna fall under the regulation of the park, not public use, but if people wanted to reserve it for a birthday party or something, things like that, that's all gonna fall under the parks.
Yeah, I suppose it would.
Okay, I mean, I just wanna make sure the Lions Club knows that we can't like rent it out. Like it can't be used for renting out fundraising purposes and things like that.
No, it was never, it's just like the bandstand, like it's there for, you know, public use. If somebody wants to have a picnic and go up there and use it, you know, I didn't, there can be some way, I guess the parks can determine some way to, a schedule, an online schedule or something, so if people wanna use it, they can look online. Google Calendar is a pretty easy thing to do, so I would imagine.
Yeah, so basically how the parks works is people from the public can just go and use things whenever they want. But if people wanna specifically reserve it for a specific time, then that falls into quote unquote an organization using it, whether it's a family or an outside activity, and that's when it falls into needing certificate of license, that's all.
Yeah.
But if people wanna publicly just go up there and they just can't kick other people off and things like that, cause it's gonna be a public piece of property.
Right.
That's all, I just wanna make sure people will understand that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so sounds great. I think it's
Cool.
a great project. Nice Alliance want to do this.
Yeah, I think it's, hopefully it's gonna be, everything we think it's gonna be.
Sanda, do you know if that shed that's up there is being used or what condition it's in?
So I know, I think last spring, or maybe the spring before, I think it was last spring, Jessica and I went out there and we got rid of a lot of stuff that's just been sitting in there for a long time. So I think it's still being used by soccer, but there's not as much stuff in there.
Yeah, I thought she had told me that it's not really, that's pretty much empty, so she might be storing some things in there, but I had talked to her, 6 months or so ago about the shed, and I thought it was pretty empty, so.
Yeah, actually what I think is in there is fertilizer for the fields.
Right.
Yeah, probably.
But other than that, I don't think baseball has their own trailer in the back, and I don't think soccer really uses it, because they just let all the coaches take the balls.
Yeah. Yep. Very good, so,
Does someone want a motion to, accept this? I can as the chair, but someone else can motion.
and I have to recuse myself.
I make a motion to accept the project.
Second, the motion, based on the scratching out of the area and the okayed by, I guess, the town.
Right,
You
the
guys
select
go-
board has to.
Yeah,
Final
yeah.
approval.
So, I think we would come back so right now we're looking for kind of permission. I think when we have a solid plan in place, we can come back and kind of outline, for parks and.
Civics, yeah.
Yeah, like what,
So what are we looking to vote on tonight? That we're in support of the plan?
Yes.
Or to build it? Cause
Uh,
to me, those are two different things. In support is, that we're moving forward, but we're looking at other pieces to it. Versus, it feels like if the town has to make a decision on it, that's a big piece
yeah, that
to
you're
it.
in support of the project, I think the town's gonna vote on whether we can build it or not, so, the board of selectmen are probably gonna say whether we can do it or not, but, we need your support, we need to come here and get Parks permission, to move forward with it before we go to.
Makes sense, yeah.
forward. Yep. So,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
alright, very good, we're good to go,
And
guys.
if this isn't accepted because I'm not there live, then just know you have a quorum support, and we can come back and vote again.
Okay. Sounds good, yep, makes sense, so,
Right, thank you.
alright, well, appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Ready?
Thanks.
Uh,
Thanks,
I
Mike.
don't, people all know each other. I'm a relative newcomer to town. I'm in the Lions.
Oh, great.
Is as much as being as part of this project, but to see the our commission,
Well, welcome.
find
That's
out
great.
how things work.
Yeah, that's fantastic. We appreciate you.
Come on in, enjoy.
Yeah.
You can always use more.
Right, so, alright, guys, thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Jack.
Yeah,
All
thanks,
right.
guys.
We'll see you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, so what was next on the agenda, Sanda?
So I just wanted to say, maybe you can open that up to the Parks members, them too, if they want to get their hands wet and volunteer.
Absolutely,
Yep.
yeah, absolutely, if you guys wanna come out and help out,
Yeah, the barn raising sounds like an
Yeah, it
interesting.
sounds like a worthwhile
Yeah.
cause, yeah.
it's gonna be interesting to see the, to do the timber framing,
Is it gonna be 8x8? Timber frame or
7x7.
7x7, nice.
Yeah, well, some of them might be bigger, some of the, most of it's 7x7, I think there's a
Yeah.
couple, maybe like beams that run the whole, that run the length that are bigger, or something,
That are- yeah,
carry some of the
bigger,
weight of the
yeah.
roof, things like that, but, yeah, it depends, engineering, that's what the pictures that you saw here are 7x7,
Mhm.
but once you get into doing the engineering plan, and talking about, sizes, things will change a little bit, so.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so, did you say there was another meeting in here at 7? We probably, I don't mean to,
Yeah, I think there is, I think it's the secretary trustees.
yeah, so we got a little bit of time, right?
Oh, yeah, we're good.
Little bit, yeah.
Okay.
That's a
Cool.
great project, I'm glad the Lions wants to do that.
Yeah, me too, it should be fun.
Because truly, I think if Parks wanted to do that the, expertise that a lot of the Alliance members has, like engineering and all that, and the cost would probably be double.
Right. That was, you know, we raise money year round, for different things. We have a charitable account that we like to help people with, and we've also, like to, you know, use some of the money towards surface projects where we can, and they have in the past. They painted the school years ago, they built the bandstand, they used to do a lot more of it back in the day, and, I've heard a lot of those stories in the club, so it made sense to kind of wanna bring, you know, say, hey, we got a new generation of people in here that, let's put our stamp on the town, let's do something that's gonna, be good for the town and be there for years to come, and for families for a long time, and that's, so that's why I've been thinking about this for a while, but, I hope it goes through, hope it all works out.
Yeah, that'll be a great addition for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Can we put the skating rink under it?
24 by 36, there'll be no center posts, so I mean, I suppose you could. It's gonna be on a concrete pad, so.
That's what
That's
that
the
park
level.
does,
Yeah, yeah,
Who does that?
Dunn's Park.
that park,
Oh,
Yeah, that's a, yeah, that's the, that's a big pavilion, I bet, that's nice.
Yeah.
It's
is
nice.
that bigger than what you're building?
Yeah, I think so, yeah, it's the way it's built is, it's got those big massive beams that go up, laminated beams, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, I did go and check it out, and I went and checked out the place for that, put in there, so I checked it out winter time.
Yeah.
Alright, do you wanna move forward with the, agenda, or do you want me to take over?
If you wanna, we can hear you just fine, so if you wanna take over.
Okay, so the next thing on the agenda is the budget, and, so our latest budget number is we have $1,088 left in our budget till the end of the year. And really went off. The info center, because we oversee that account, $314 in it. That's the Charlie Clark Corner. Our revolving account, which the money comes from, like the townwide yard sale, that's donated monies or monies that we raise, and we do that mostly with the townwide yard sale. That's down to $1 because we didn't have a lot of money. I think we had $200 that we earned this year, but we spent money on the new Christmas lights and things like that, so that's down to $1. The Hubbardston Community Park Fund is down to $4,448. We spent $3,200 out of that this year when we had to have the new filtration system for the irrigation system put in. We went to the town for the money, and the town said they were gonna fund it, and then they kind of balked at funding it, and so it had already been in place, so we, I don't know if you remember, this was back like last July, so we ended up, taking the money out of the parks, trust fund in order to pay for that. And then the Hubbardston Preservation Trust, which we oversee as well, and that's from the field cuttings up at Mount Jeff. And that has $12,947 in that. And that money can be used for open space and recreation. And open space, did have a few vouchers back in the fall for some pesticides and things like that, and money was spent out of that for that. So really, our working budget is $1,088, to get us through the end of the year, which is June 30th. And unless anyone else can come up with any thoughts of how the money can be spent, we do have the Easter egg hunt that we always put on, that always runs about $250. That's going to happen on the first weekend in April, like April 1st and 2nd. It's always the week before Easter. That, like I said, runs about $250. And then when we have porta potties put down, we open up the fields usually the middle of April, and that's gonna run us about $500 for porta potties in between April and the end of June. So that's gonna take all the money for the most part, unless anyone can think of something else that they feel the park will need financially that we should use some money for.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Makes sense to
Did
me.
we have to do anything to open that irrigation, did you say that?
So the irrigation opening it, but, usually we don't open the irrigation until like June, because, usually the springs are wet.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, unless we have a super dry spring, I always try to wait and open that like right at the end of June, first part of July, because then that falls into next year's budget.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah. I mean, unless, like I said, we have a super dry spring,
Saves
You know.
on expense, yeah.
yeah, I think we'll be all set. So, so if anyone can think of any other expenses, then that money will just get used up by the end of this, the spring until the first of the fiscal year. So speaking of opening up the park, so we usually open up the park the week of school vacation, because hopefully the snow's gonna be gone, I mean, of course, we're having a very late winter right now. But basically what we're gonna wanna do, we don't have to do it right now, but we can say that we're going to pick a day, in April before school vacation. We'll find a nice day where we can go down there and we can get the trash barrels out, we can order the porta potty, I'll take care of ordering the porta potties. We can, maybe put up the shades if we want them at this point, so we don't have to do it again, but we'll probably have to pick a date sometime in April to get together and do a little manual work.
Sure.
Sounds
Everyone
good.
fine with that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can pick it as it gets closer and see what's nicer, right?
Yeah, that's what I think, and that's something we can just say now that we're gonna do, and we'll pick a date for April. That could be our meeting for April. Let's see. So I was going to meet with the Board of Selectmen next week, in regards to the parks going forward. But the town administrator asked if, instead of going to the Board of Selectmen, if I could meet with him and tell him what my thoughts were and what have you. And so I met with him today. And I guess the whole bottom line is, I don't know if anyone else is signing back up for parks. I know my term's out, I'm not signing back up. I know Jay and Brian's terms is out. I don't know if they're signing back up. I didn't think they were. Dave said he wasn't signing back up or running again. I guess hopefully we can run one more time. So I just thought it was very important that the town is aware of all the things that happen. Like, I think we do a great job, but I think the work we do is very silent. And I think if the park gets let go for a year or two, it's not going to make a difference. 5 years down the road, if people aren't maintaining things, it's going to show.
Right.
So that was really my concern. So, and just little things like, so my question was, okay, so if we open up the park in April and we get the irrigation up and running, we get the shades on, we get the porta potties going, who's going to take care of closing the park in the fall if there's none of us on a committee? So I just wanted to bring that to his attention. So, so he did resolve some things. He basically said the billing, for the porta potties and things, he's going to resolve that. He's going to have someone in the office pay the bills, so that's good. And he did say that he will take all the complaints and concerns that people have, because right now, through the website, I get a number of emails, not 1,000, believe me, but I get a number of emails, whether it's, something is broken at the park, or I'll get a phone call, all those kind of things, attention that the park needs. So I kind of said to him, who's going to take care of these needs? Like, I'm the one who meets the irrigation guy, or I'm the one who tells you guys, hey, we got to go down and fix this swing or what have you. And I said, who's going to take care of this stuff, seeing if there is no new park committee formed? So he feels pretty confident that the town will take it over, and he said he'll be very involved. He's very much a parks person, and he wants to make sure this park maintains being well run, even if there are new members who were coming up to volunteer. So I guess that was a positive thing.
Yep.
Yep.
So in regards to, and I know that I do know that he did say, well, I'm just gonna have to tell DPW they're gonna have to do it, and I'm like, oh, good. But I can tell you that I have worked with Claudia in the last couple of weeks, and she says that they have some new men in the senior work-off 5 years, so the trash kinda was going by the wayside and stuff, and she said they have people that she thinks will volunteer through the senior workout program to remove trash once a week, once a month, pick up the trash once a week, whatever. So it sounds like that's gonna be a very positive thing going forward this year, that we'll have a volunteer to do that.
Great.
That's great.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good, because we had a great guy for many, many years, and then he moved out of town. So that's gonna be really good. I did talk, because I know last year when we had the issue with the trash being thrown in the porta potties, when I met with DPW in the town, the DPW solution was remove the porta potties. I don't think that's a good solution, but I did bring it up to the town administrator. He said absolutely not. He goes, we have to have porta potties at a public park, and I agree with that. And so he does want us to order the porta potties to make sure there's porta potties there. And the fact that we might have the senior workout person who will remove the trash barrels, that'll be good, because we bought new trash barrels last year, so that should all be good. So that's about it. I did tell him, that my other concerns are like, who's gonna advocate for the parks? I mean, I hate to say it, it's been kind of my baby for 22 years, so it's hard for me to walk away and not still think about it. So a few things that I told him I thought we needed is, there's been this conversation about the well pump needing to be replaced because it's not dead, but it's on its last leg. Definitely think the walking track needs to be redone. So whether the town takes that approach and tries to get grant funding for it. And I mentioned that the skate park at some point really needs to be updated or something. And as long as this maintains a safe place for kids to use it, then I think that's fine. Can you guys think of anything else that the park might really need?
The court's gonna need to be sealed, right?
Yep.
Sealed and then
we still
repainted,
have funding
right?
for that. We'll have funding through June for that. We have $8,000. But I'll be honest, I've got to double check because with the shortfall of the budget, they were taking money from everywhere.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they took that money
I
from
thought they
us.
pulled it back, yeah.
Yeah, I thought they took it.
They might have. I'll have to go and look and see. I can tell you when I met with the guy late last summer, he gave me a price of like $4,500, which I thought was great.
Yeah.
But they couldn't fit us on the schedule for last year. So I can actually, if you want, I can reach back out, see if we have that money, and if we do, see if we can get it sealed.
Is that sealing and repainting the lines, or just sealing the cost?
He told me, so he gave me the price of like $4,500, and he told me he did have someone who could paint the lines, but I don't think that was included in the cost.
Okay.
I don't think the lining was that much, if
I have no idea.
I don't remember, but.
The line was $1,000, and the man actually hand painted it, which I think is crazy. But yeah, I guess people do that.
Well, I mean, I guess what do you mean, like with a brush? Hand painted it how?
I don't know how he hand painted it. I was told the man hand painted it, and it took him a whole day to do it.
Oh, well. Lay it all out would take a while, but.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So I don't know.
I think it's a hand
But
painting
we can look
operation
into
anyway,
that,
what are you
but
handing a thing right here?
Probably got a mini roller or something.
I know you don't want me to do the lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright. I,
So I'll look into that and see if we still have that money there, and
yeah,
we'll look at doing that maybe this spring if we still have the money.
the skate park, I think, was, is in the walking track, those are, well, they're all big projects, they're all big things that are gonna, something's gonna have to happen in all those areas in the coming years here, very sooner than later.
Well, and I'll be honest, so I did actually go before the ARPA committee to get money for the walking track, and they turned it down. And I know we discussed that back in December, so we did talk about maybe approaching CPC for the money, because it would qualify for CPC, but I'm on the CPC committee, and CPC just doesn't have the money for that right now.
Yeah.
Because they have funded some really big projects lately, including the playground. So my thoughts are maybe I can approach the town next year to say, hey, you guys need to apply for this
But what-
money, and have
What was
it.
the cost of that? I don't remember.
So actually got a cost from the same people who were gonna do the basketball court, and they gave me a price of like $77,000.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a lot of
that's a
money,
huge
but
chunk.
It's not pocket
I had talked to somebody else who thought it was gonna be 100.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
I
not saying
think
it may be a
77.
great price,
Yeah,
but
it's a lot.
that's a lot of money, you know, for a project, so,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
cause it'd be great to wrap it into this pavilion, but, you know, like, in the same time frame, you
Yeah.
know, so you get that done while this gets done,
Yeah.
you know, but there's no way to pull that
There's
off.
a lot of work that needs to be done on that backside, especially just like those last two baseball fields. That
Yeah,
other
that
roots,
high kind of part that's bermed up, yeah.
So there's a lot of roots and rocks
Yeah.
coming up, yeah.
Yeah.
And when I walked the track with that guy last summer, cause I thought maybe we could just do parts of the track, cause I know it's a big project, but by the time we walked the whole track, he says 90% of it needs to be replaced, like, you might as well just do the whole thing while we're here.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I would agree.
But they were going to grind it up, bring it down 6 inches, and remove everything, roots, rocks, everything that were at least 6 inches down and protruding, and then put down a new base and then do a new paved track.
Yeah, gravel base and, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
asphalt.
Makes sense.
How thick did
Yeah.
they say they'd do the asphalt, Sando? Like
It's,
a couple inches, some?
I don't know about the asphalt, I just know they were gonna dig down six
Yeah.
I
inches.
think it's like a total of, I wanna say it's total like 4 inches, 3.5, 4 inches.
Oh, that's pretty
There's,
good.
there's
yeah.
a certain, so I talked to somebody about it before, and there was a certain, there's a base layer that goes down, and then there's like a more of a finer top coat that goes down.
Mhm.
And they make that base, 6 layers, the gravel and everything, they make it strong enough so you can drive a car on it, it's like a road.
Yeah, it's
So,
compacted.
yeah, so that base layer was, you could go thinner on either layer, and it would affect the cost, but it would also affect how,
Yeah, the
what can
strength.
go on it, so.
Yeah.
With knowing that we drive vehicles out there a couple times a year, it's best to get something that can withstand
Yeah.
that.
Well, I mean, and if you're gonna spend $70,000, I mean, $80,000, you might as well spend a few, you know.
Yeah, make sure you're doing it right.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
go down, you know, 10,000's not worth it, you
Yeah.
know.
Right.
So, yeah, that's a big ticket item, and, unfortunately, if the skate park gets to be too much of an issue, it probably will just get taken down rather than replaced or repaired with nobody on the parks, so hopefully, I'm kinda hoping some young families step up and take over. Cause something like that could be, there's some really nice skate parks out there now. Some of the
Right.
towns around us have put up some really nice ones.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they have, yeah, so, and that got brought up by, the town administrator in that he was saying that, 25 years ago when he was a kid, that they all came to Hubbardston because Hubbardston was the only one who had a skate park around. So it was kind of the skate park of the area, but he was saying that, Gardner, Paxton, like all the towns around us now have these really cool cement ones or concrete ones,
yeah, yeah.
and that people probably don't even come to Hubbardston anymore. And so I said, I agree. And he's like, well, you probably really need to update your skate park. Well, that's easier said than done. So I just said, I still think little kids come and use it. So it's very important that we still keep it safe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's probably drawing from the towns around us,
Yeah.
but I think kids in town, I mean, you see kids
Yeah, there's
riding
always
their
kids there.
skateboards
Yeah.
up there, on the side of the road all the time, going
No,
up
I
there.
agree.
So I think it's used by the town kids,
Yeah.
for sure. And I mean, I'd much rather them skating in there than on the benches or,
Yeah.
steps or whatever of the different town buildings,
Right.
causing trouble.
And I do think when we do the park opening day that we need to walk over and take a look at that, because I have been told that some issues are that the structures are sinking into the concrete, not the concrete, but the
Pavement, yeah.
Yeah.
pavement.
Yep.
And I think, I hate to say it, but all it would take is maybe all 6 of us to shove it forward a few inches and get it so it's back level with the pavement to make it than it is.
Yeah, depends if it's pushed up the pavement, like when it's sunk in, it might
Yeah,
push up, I don't know how.
I think the issue is there's like a crack, and maybe we could just get some of the, someone to assess it and get some of that, like the sealing material to put in there to kind of fill in a couple of those gaps. It's basically right at the bottom of the transition of the ramp where the ramp meets the asphalt.
Mhm.
So I, and
So who would have to assess that? What kind of person would we contact? Like the paving company?
I don't, maybe probably like a
Maybe.
crack filler. I don't know if we could use like the rubberized like
Yeah,
that type of material or something.
I don't know. I mean, if we tried to put one of those ramps up and it's sunk into the pavement, and it doesn't sit flat on the pavement that's there,
Right, then we're
we've
screwed.
created a problem
Yeah.
where they can't be used anymore. So, you know.
Okay.
So I guess somebody that knows more about pavement and
Yeah, because somebody that knows about pavement, they may be able to say, you know, we need to pull some out, we need to pick it up, you know, it's
Yeah.
just gonna sink into it. I mean, the whole thing might be sunken, you know, all four corners, it might not just be the front.
yeah, we'll have to look and look at it and see
so-
what we see for ourselves. I don't recall. I know somebody that was complaining about the front edge was sunken in and it created a bad issue with
It's a
the
little bit of a
transition.
gap, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you can put another layer of, you know,
Yeah.
metal at the bottom, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
But
we can all go up and look at it and see if we can, on the opening day, we'll go up.
I think it's worth taking a look at, try to
Definitely.
figure out.
So that park
Okay,
is
so
really,
the-
the park is 25 years old, the skate park?
It's like, it was built like in 2000.
Oh, okay. Wow, jeez.
I thought it was older than that, but yeah, it's been up there for a
No,
long
I
time.
think it was early, the 2000s is when it was all built. The walking track and the skate park and that playground were all built at the same time.
It's hard to believe it's been that long, but yeah.
Yeah.
The original playground was built at the same time?
The original playground, that was, I think the original playground, I think.
That was like
so.
93 or
That was
something,
all-
wasn't it? 94? That was mid-90s, yeah.
Yeah, and that might have been built first, and then the walking track and the skate park, I think, were built about the same time,
Yeah.
so. But, alright, so just someone else other than myself try to remember, we have to assess that when we have our work day down at the park,
Yep. I'll remember.
okay?
One of the other things I just thought of about needing, that we need money for or needs attention is, the bark mulch in the playground. It was how many, every 2 or 3 years that was gonna need attention? What'd they tell us?
Actually, I think they told us every 3 to 5.
Oh, okay. Well, something to put on the list that's gonna need attention, over time anyways.
Oh, a time, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm not sure, you know, I mean, the DPW, the town administrator is talking about trying to, if we're not going forward, if he's trying to kind of get a new parks going, and I actually suggested that maybe they actually, assign someone in town or hire someone in town to be a parks consultant or maintenance person or what have you. But for now, they just want to absorb what we've done. He is trying to get me to continue with the parks, and I told him no. But I did tell him that I wouldn't mind being a liaison to the parks until they can get like a new committee up and running, if that's what they need. Because, you know, like I said, if no one pays attention to it, it's eventually going to fall apart.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I basically said to him, I just don't want to be dealing with people's complaints anymore. You know, if people have a complaint about the trash and certain departments aren't picking it up, I just don't want to deal with that anymore. And he said, that's fine, I will field all complaints. I'm like, okay, that sounds good.
That's fantastic.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. But again, like I said, I think the park is part of the pride of the town, and I want to see it still look nice.
Right.
Yep, I agree.
And speaking of that, so when should I be spreading that the clover seed down at the in front of the park there, like the end of March, I was hoping.
I'm clover or grass really isn't going to germinate until the soil temperature is above like 50, 55 degrees. So I'd wait until
May.
probably like late April, May, something like that.
It gets a lot of
Okay.
sun up there, so once we start getting some warm days, it might,
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
almost
just
like a little
6 feet.
microclimate there, but yeah, you wanna take advantage of like, you know, springtime rain somewhat, but that too much rain would also just wash it right into the parking lot,
Yeah.
Yeah, oh,
so.
well, believe me, with weather we've had up until this last week, I thought I could have put it on 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Jumping the gun. All right, anything else, people, any new or old business we need to talk about?
No, we went
Nope.
through the agenda already?
That's the whole agenda.
Cool.
Beautiful.
All right, so, so I don't think there's anything I need to bring to the Board of Selectmen then, so I will remove parks from their agenda next week. Cause I did already talk to Nate, and the Easter egg hunt is gonna go off, I've ordered the egg, I'll pick up the candy, and then we'll pick a date in April where we'll all get together and do some work.
Yeah, should, just a quick thought, should we put anything out, like, we somehow start to spread the word, maybe to let people know that, like, the Parks Committee's not gonna be, there's not gonna be, it's gonna be Eric after the June election, after the town election, maybe to try to pique some interest from people, or,
Sure, we can have it put out like on Hubbardston People, Hubbardston Celebration, we can have it put out on the, I mean, the website already says all the positions that are needed in town,
Yeah.
and there's many positions. But, and the other thing I did misspeak, because for this year, if you want to do the parks, you have to be voted in again. They're gonna bring it up at town meeting to remove it from an elected position to an appointed position, so
Yeah, right.
it would still, yeah.
yeah.
No, but that's fine, we can put it out on social media and,
Just like maybe the town, you know, Nate or somebody else could put it out there, and then like, you know, whoever I see or run across, I'd be happy to talk to them and tell them anything about it, but, it would be nice to get the word out there somehow to some of these, some other families that maybe have no idea parks
Right.
even exist, but, you know,
Have young kids and
yeah, that
kind
would,
of thing.
that
Yeah.
might wanna step
I also
in and do
wonder if it's put out in with the idea that, you know, 90% of parks is not gonna be there going forward, that's a different feel than we just need more parks people, which we've
Yeah.
always needed, you
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
You know, that's a huge turnover.
Yeah.
Which can be a great thing, I mean, to get,
Yeah, that can be a
to
good
get
thing,
young
yeah.
people, you know, that have different ideas and, you know, have motivation, that's great.
Yeah.
We just gotta find those people.
Alright,
yeah.
So Sandy, are
Yeah.
you saying that my term will be done as of June then?
So no, cause you, I think, don't end your term until June of 2024.
Okay, right, so I still have one more year.
But if we wanted to do another term,
So
we'd
we're
have
gonna do
to,
the
we'd
whole
have to
deal.
do another 3-year term.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
people can always get appointed, and your appointment is only for 1 year. So if you get appointed, it's for 1 year. And again, there's parts of the park I don't mind doing. There's parts of the park I don't wanna do, and if the town takes over the parks I don't wanna do, then I would probably, my husband's staring at me, he's gonna kill me. There are, parts, you know,
don't leave the door open, Santa, you're leaving it open, you get,
I know.
gonna start
I
throwing
know,
stuff
and
at you.
He keeps saying, I'm just gonna convince you to continue, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I'd be alive.
JB, it's on the record, I'm telling her not to leave it open.
Yeah, we're looking forward to retirement, that's for sure.
Yes,
So, but anyways, yeah, so we'll see what happens. Like I did say to Nate, I said, Nate, there's no way I'm walking away completely unless I move. I said, so I could always, you know, be a sounding board, I can always be a liaison, you know, whatever. You know, but it's little things, like I think about those darn umbrella shades, like they were very expensive. They leave them up all winter long, they're not gonna last long.
No, they'll be destroyed, yeah.
It's all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And if you don't put them somewhere that they're safe, they're gonna get eaten
They're
by the
gonna-
mice, and they're also
Right.
gonna be destroyed, so.
yeah,
Correct,
Yeah.
yeah, that's why
Yeah,
they're
can't
above
store
my
them
garage.
in the-
Yeah.
yeah.
Just little things like that, just silly
Yep.
little things, you know, so.
Alright, so,
Alright, so I think we're all set, thank you all, it's nice seeing everyone,
Yeah.
Yes, thank
Same
you.
here.
so do
even
we,
virtually.
we have to vote to adjourn the meeting so that we can make it official?
Yes, you can.
Motion to adjourn,
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
6:38. Okay.
6:38, okay.